Hey, what's going on YouTube? Now that I have two more of these Asus 144Hz monitors, I thought I'd show you an Nvidia surround setup. I've already done an unboxing and review video of the monitor, so check in the description if you want to see it. So let's get started with looking at Nvidia surround. Already from this wallpaper, you can see how cool it is to have three monitors. This portal wallpaper is one of my favorite parts of having triple monitors. If you want to play at 120 Hz or above, you have to have a DVI cable. HDMI, due to bandwidth issues, can't broadcast at 120 frames. On my desk, I'm using my own monitor stand instead of the two stands that came with these monitors over on the left. I actually drilled a hole into my desk so that I could remove the very bulky base. This desk is really deep, and I value having all of this extra space due to removing the bulky base. The regular stand that comes with this monitor is good by itself, but I have to use it with my third screen. And later on, I definitely hope to get a rotating arm monitor stand so that I could have the extra space underneath the monitor. Moving on, I wish that I could make the angle of view a little bit sharper between the monitors, but just because the size limit of this monitor stand, I can't angle it in any further. Maybe later on I'll swap out this left side monitor stand. Next, one thing to note about Nvidia Surround is that if you try to maximize a program across three screens, normally you could just maximize to one screen if you were using regular setup multiple desktop. But if you want to use SLI with Nvidia Surround, you have to have everything as one single screen. Windows treats this as a simple display. I'm going to drag my desktop real quick so you see how Windows 8 shows it as just one big screen. So I'm going to open up Sony Vegas, and if I were to maximize Sony Vegas, it spans all three screens. Now this is great for productivity programs and editing software, but just regular web browsing, it's a hassle to have to manually adjust the size of your web pages. You can also use this monitor setup for 3D surround gaming, but 3D gaming by itself already cuts your frame rate in half, and playing across three screens, I don't know whether I would like to play at 30 frames per second or not. The whole reason I got a 144Hz refresh rate monitor was so that I could have better aim and see more of what's going on in first-person shooters. Alright, so here I'm going to start off Borderlands 2. Borderlands 2 is a great game, but it's not really well optimized for three screens. I would say only 75% of games on the market right now are really optimized for three screens, and you can hear my computer spinning up at the moment because it's overclocked, and I had my fan profile set to spin up when it gets close to 65 degrees or so. Once we get in, you're going to see why Borderlands 2 is not that great for triple monitor gaming. When you open the menu screen and you go to options and stuff, wait, where's the network options? Yeah, so network options, you see, like, I can't even make my selection. The mouse doesn't go up that high. But you talk to an NPC and their messages flash across the screen, you're not going to be able to see most of the text. Let me hit a vending machine really quick so I can see. No, this doesn't have that, but you'll know what I'm talking about once you start playing on three screens. Now these bezels, bezel correction, I don't use bezel correction just for the reason I stated earlier, because sometimes the text gets hidden behind the bezel lines. I sit close enough to the screen anyway so that I don't really mind the bezel placement. I'm going to show you the computer that's running this game at the moment. Here we go. I'm not going to take apart the side panel, but this is the NZXT Phantom 410. I have two-way SLI GTX 670. I'm running a water-cooled CPU at the moment. People made fun of me for my cable management. I admit some of it was my lack of due diligence, but this motherboard I think fits a lot better in a full-size ATX case. And the 8-pin CPU connector, you usually snake it around the back to feed into the motherboard socket, but this motherboard completely blocks where most cases have a outlet for the power for the 8-pin connector, so can't really do that. I really recommend high amounts of video RAM if you want to consider gaming across three monitors. I get up to about 3,500 megabytes of video RAM usage in Borderlands 2 across three screens, and I intend to do reviews of other games at 3 screens like Far Cry 3, Battlefield 3. Battlefield 3 is really fun at 3 screens, but for competitive play, I really do recommend playing on a single screen and trying to get as many frames as possible. I do want to give 3D gaming a try someday, but I did say earlier that only 75% of games are optimized for triple monitor gaming right out of the box. I would estimate that that number goes down to 25% for 3D gaming. There are a lot of patches that you can download and registry edits that you can make to make games work better in 3D. That really doesn't fly well in multiplayer because modifying your game files could be considered cheating, and sometimes even if there are patches to help resolve a game's issues with 3D, sometimes developers are really lazy in incorporating the 3D instead of having true 3D vision games like Battlefield Bad Company 2 or Battlefield 3. But Nvidia 3D glasses are over $100, and I want to limit how much I'm spending on gaming at the moment. I don't know whether that's fair to say after me showing you my setup. But anyways, guys, this is all I have for this video. I will do a full setup tour later on where I show you my console gaming setup, full PC tour later. I do have some refreshes planned for this PC. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you next video.